So when we are not able to handle rejection, that literally brings down our aura. You have to learn how to play the game and follow the rules in order to get what you want. So, how do we learn how to face rejection? It's a muscle. We practice it. We practice it every day. It's all about how are you reacting to that rejection? Are you throwing a fit? Are you cursing people out? Are you ghosting? Are you giving people the silent treatment? I was just like, wow, this is a man that could not handle rejection. And that is such a scary thing. I think a man who cannot handle rejection. Welcome to Let's Just Be Real with me, your host, Marissa Tong. I'm a multi-passionate creative entrepreneur who's on a journey to create my dream life in a world where adulting just gets too real sometimes. On this podcast, we talk about all things beyond surface level to leave you feeling inspired to think bigger, unapologetically prioritize your self-care, and discover your true, authentic self. Think of me as your unfiltered but wise auntie who just wants the best for all of us. So grab your journal or maybe a glass of wine and let's get real. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I am your host, Marissa Tong. Welcome back, welcome in. What's good? What's poppin'? Happy September, y'all. If you're listening to this on September 3rd, we are officially back on the pod. We took a nice little break this summer. Honestly, it was an unexpected break. Usually, I do take a small mini break around, I want to say, maybe like July, August. So if you guys don't know, we're celebrating 2 years of the podcast. A little late, but it's okay. So we launched the podcast August 1st, 2023. I can't believe it's been 2 years. We are going on our 150th episode, which will be dropping in the next couple weeks. I'm trying to decide if I want that to be like a special episode. I don't know yet, but as you guys can see, I'm still the same, very much, indecisive girl, but we're back, y'all. I took a nice little break, much needed. We have so much to catch up on, but we could do that in our Substack, okay? This isn't about me. This episode is not about me. It's about us collectively. We are going to talk about some things though that I have posted on social media this summer, specifically dealing with a weird date encounter, which kind of inspired today's episode and topic. But before we dive in, let's just do some housekeeping. If you guys are here for the first time, what's up? My name is Marissa. On this podcast, we talk about all things wellness, entrepreneurship, self-care, personal development, friendships, dating, anything that goes beyond the surface. So if you are someone that likes deep, meaningful conversations, you don't like to beat around the bush, this is the podcast for you, boo. Okay, we keep it real over here. So I'm really excited to be jumping back into season 5. No, we aren't starting a new season. We are resuming season 5 because we only had, I believe, 8 episodes in season 5, which we started around like May. So first of all, let's just check in with the host. I am doing so much better. Leo season was so good to me. I don't know if it's like, there was a lot going on in astrology. There still is. Like Saturn just entered back into Pisces yesterday. We have this eclipse coming up. So it's eclipse week. There's a lot going on, a lot of like shifts in energy, a lot of closings, beginnings, all that good stuff. But Cancer season, Jesus Christ. Cancer season tried to take me out, y'all. Like I I don't know if it's because I'm a water sign. I was feeling it the most. I honestly feel like wherever the zodiac is, like whatever season we're in, that element gets affected the most. So like if it's a water sign season, Cancer season, all the Scorpios, all the Pisces, they're all affected. Same thing with like Scorpio season, all the Pisces, all the Cancer signs are going to be affected. So that's really how I felt with Cancer season. I mean, Cancer is like an emotional sign to begin with. And I just felt like there was a lot of like resurfacing of feelings and emotions, really diving deep into all of that like really ugly, uncomfortable shit. And it was a lot of purging that I needed to do, and also a lot of like reaching out to close friends and family and just being honest about like, hey, like I'm not doing okay. Like, can you just like hear me out? Like, can I talk to you? Like, so that's how I felt cancer season went for me. Just a lot of being open and honest for like the first time, even like with my team back in Jersey, like being like, yeah, I am not okay. Like, this is the way that I need support. And that's something that I've been working on, during my whole journey being in therapy since 2021, and just constantly working on my personal development, always wanting to be a better person, always striving to be better. I think one of those challenges for me is always like being open and honest with the people around me, asking for support, asking for what I need, being vocal about my needs and what is going to help me to feel better or progress in life. So that's where I was at pretty much like all of July. And then August came and like it was a complete 180. I tell you, like, and I can honestly say that shout out to my girl Lara. Okay, y'all, I know some of y'all be sleeping on astrology and you're like, I don't believe in that. Like, I don't know, like whatever. But when I tell you, so Lara's been on my podcast twice. You guys can go back and listen to those two episodes that she was on. They were like a few months apart, and we talked about the astrology for certain periods, during that year, which I think was 2023, and then 2024 again she came back. I'm not sure. But go check it out. Lara, I have basically made her like my personal astrologer. She already does this. Like, this is what she does outside of teaching yoga. She's an artist, she's a creative, she's also an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius rising. So we just get each other, okay? She's done so far 3 readings with me in the past 2 years. And I kid you not, in all of those readings, she has been spot on about the energy that I was going to be feeling, what was going to be happening, what was going to be coming into my life, whether that is love, money, challenges, whatever the case. So I, in a sense, was already prepared for like this huge roller coaster of a ride that 2025 has been. But it's a bit helpful when you do have like some clarity and some understanding, okay, of like this makes sense, like this is where I am in my chart, this is what's happening through these transits. And yeah, it's made sense, and it's so freaking scary but so interesting to like go back and listen, because she does recording. So we'll jump on Zoom, we'll talk for like an hour, and then I can go back and listen to the recordings. And every time I go back, I'm like, she literally said that this was going to happen. And it's not in like a psychic prediction type of way. Like, I think with astrology, there are ways to predict maybe like the energy or what's going to be, what people might be feeling around the time, or maybe there's going to be more volatile energy depending on where the planets are. Let's say Mars was in Libra. I feel like the Libras have been really been feeling that, some like aggression, some frustration, some difficult challenges that they've had to navigate. So it's like when where those placements are, especially when it comes to your personal chart, you can kind of understand like, okay, I might be going through some shit around this time. Let me mentally prepare. Let me have my self-care toolkit ready. And yeah, let me just take care of myself a little bit more. So it's been interesting to kind of see how that's played out for me. So yeah, if you guys are interested, I would definitely go listen to those episodes with Lara. I would love to have her back on very soon as we get ready to transition into a whole nother year. It's crazy. And I feel like my new year starts a little bit early. My birthday's in November. So I technically consider that my new year of like full reset. And technically, if you are into astrology, that is your new year. So that's when your whole like, I can't explain it. Like, I'm not an astrologer. It's so funny. Like, people have literally been hitting me up like, hey, can you do my chart? Can you read my chart? And I'm like, girl, I'm a student. Like, I am a student of astrology. I have been always into it. Like, I don't know. I've just always been the girl since like 10 years old, like going on Cosmopolitan, like reading my horoscope, and then just getting into learning other people's signs, the way that they function. And it's so funny. Like, my therapist, literally just started therapy again, had to get a new therapist, moving out of state. And she was asking me, like, it's funny because you kind of like use astrology to like categorize people. I'm like, yeah, I do. I do, girl. Okay. It helps me make sense of people and how to go about, navigating these relationships. But anyway, we're not going to spend too much time here because I know some of y'all are not really into it. So you can fast forward this or whatever. Okay. But I just wanted to share that update on me. Cancer season was crazy. Leo season, August, was freaking amazing as far as like networking, meeting the right people, collaborations, feeling more confident, feeling like myself, getting out there, being social, dating again, dating with good vibes, like it's just been wow. It's really been wow. So I am really just like in this state of appreciation and gratitude for my life right now because when I tell you 2024 and probably the first half of 2025 has just been like a whirlwind of fuckery and just like so many transitions and changes. And obviously, like me moving to another state by myself, different side of the country has been a huge transition in itself. So now getting to this place where I feel good, I feel settled, I feel like myself again, I feel motivated, I feel like I'm back in my creativity, I'm ready to like write more, I'm ready to dance more. It just feels aligned. So I'm so grateful to be in this place. And I don't know how long like this, bliss is gonna last, but I'm really riding it out. I'm riding it out. And hopefully this lasts until like November, around my birthday, end of the year, like as long as possible. I'm so grateful and I'm so happy to be back on the podcast. I really needed that break. And I hope that you guys also are giving yourselves breaks when you feel like you need to take a break from something. Do it. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're going to let people down. Don't feel like you are going to disappoint people. Don't feel like you need to keep showing up when you're not feeling your best. And I know this can be a bit controversial and contradictory, right? Because at the end of the day, I am a confidence coach. I help women achieve their goals. I help women get into careers that they want. I help women really push forward when they are facing self-doubt. And sometimes, yeah, you do need to push forward a little bit, even when you aren't feeling your best or feeling 100%. But when you are constantly feeling that way, I think that's a sign that you need to take a break. When it's just like a constant flow of like overwhelm or sadness or confusion, like there is a point where you need to take a step back and go within and really figure out what is going on. So I highly recommend that. Mental health is a priority. If you don't feel good, you're not going to be able to show up looking good, feeling good, doing good for other people. You're not going to be able to serve in the way that you want. You're not going to be able to live out your purpose. So make sure you guys are prioritizing your mental health, okay? All right, so now we can get into today's topic. I feel like that was forever, but we need to catch up, okay? I gotta keep it real. I gotta let y'all know what's going on with me. I know some of you guys have really been waiting for the podcast to come back, so welcome. And if it's your first time, welcome. Before we get into the topic for today, I just want to remind you guys that registration for my Soul and Senses retreat in Bali, Indonesia is open. Early registration is open. I mean, at this point, it's not really that early, but it's going to come fast. We're going to get into the holidays. You're going to start spending money on other people. Like, I want you to really think about how can I prioritize myself going into 2026? How can I prioritize myself in this season? Virgo season is all about nurturing, self-care, showing up for yourself, making sure that you are, doing your due diligence, making sure that you have focus, structure, that you are really feeling your best, setting yourself up for success. Like Virgos love organization and, putting themselves first. So this is a really good time to think about like, what do you want to do for yourself next year? And I think the Soul and Senses retreat in Bali is a perfect opportunity for you to tap into yourself, transform, put yourself outside of your comfort zone. I talk a lot about, I've had previous episodes talking about how much Bali really changed my life. I went there in 2023 for a solo trip, and I can say like I built probably the most confidence around that time because I'm traveling to the other side of the world by myself, right? I'm in a foreign country. I don't speak the language. I am just here for like vibes and faith, So it's like I really had to trust myself. And then I also had to detach from expectations, work, feeling bad about taking off from work. That was the first time that I really had a team where I'm like, okay, I'm trusting you guys to keep things running, keep classes running. At that time, it was really primarily just me running my classes in New Jersey. So I didn't have like a full team running classes as I do today in 2025. So that was a big time for me too, to just really like surrender and trust. And then also really get like a deep connection to nature. Like Bali is, oh my God, I can't even describe it. Like I'm sure you guys have seen pictures and videos, but that does not do it justice. Being there, the people are so kind. Bali wisdom and philosophy is just so interesting because they believe that everything is one: nature, God, animals. We're all connected. So that really allowed me to deepen my spirituality as well, being there and just seeing how much like people are selfless in a way. Like they're constantly offering things up to spirit, to God, to whoever they believe in. And I feel like that brings them a little bit more happiness and peace. So I was really happy to just dabble and be in that environment and take some of that with me when I return back home. So I would love for you guys to join me. All the information is going to be in the show notes and on my website, realrhythmdanceandfitness.com. If you guys aren't already following Real Hot Retreats on Instagram, make sure you go do that. You can check out all my previous retreats. I have some solo trips sprinkled in there so you can see. And yeah, it's just a good way to get motivated and feel inspired to travel. A lot of people just feel really stuck sometimes, or they feel like they allow fear to hold them back. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like fear can literally stop you from living your best life. And I think that once you release that and once you surrender, like you will see how beautiful life can truly be. So I would love to have you guys, if you feel called to visit Bali, that's April 7th to the 13th. And yeah, all the details will be in the show notes. All right, y'all. So let's dive in to today's topic of conversation. So we are going to be talking about one specific skill that we should all master that will really help us to, number one, build more confidence, build more social skills, allow us to get over things more easily, not to feel stuck, not to hold grudges, and also for people to see us as a kind, respectable, mature, emotionally available person. Okay. So I want to first bring up what inspired this conversation today, or what inspired me to talk about this one skill. So I won't go into the full story because it is on my YouTube channel and my TikTok. You guys can go check it out. But if you guys follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you saw that I posted about this horrible date that I went on. I want to say it was around July. And basically, long story short, this guy couldn't take the fact that I didn't want to hold his hand after 30 minutes of talking in a restaurant. Okay. Mind you, this guy had already pushed my boundaries by sitting directly next to me, which is something that I don't do, especially on a first date. I find that very weird. And so he's sitting next to me. Basically, long story short, we're like having regular conversation. You guys can check out, trust me, it's a whole story, okay? It's a whole backstory. At 30 minutes into the date, he decides he's gonna go and grab my hand. So I gently took my hand away. Like, what are we doing here, sir? Like, I don't know you. I don't think I was giving off like touch me vibes. Like, this is weird, right? So after that, he's like, this isn't going to work out. This isn't going to work out. I can't be with someone who's conservative. I need to know that there's a sexual connection. I have a high libido, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, girl, go tap into the full story on my YouTube channel or TikTok. If you have a short attention span, I broke it down into a couple different parts. Okay. However, so after that happened, I was just like, wow, like really, I was just like, wow, this is a man that could not handle rejection. And that is such a scary thing. I think a man who cannot handle rejection is a dangerous man, right? Those are the men that will retaliate, sometimes in a violent, dangerous way, right? And these are the people that are like freaking Trump, like they can't stand not getting their way. They can't stand facing rejection. They can't stand someone telling them no. These are the most dangerous types of people. So I always like to reflect on my dates after, right? Did this person show up? How was I showing up? How did I take in whatever this person was giving me? How is that a reflection of me? How am I attracting this person? I always like to think about those things, right? So after that, I'm like, okay, clearly this man had an issue with rejection. That was the main thing, right? He had asked for the bill. As soon as I didn't want to hold his hand, he cut the date short. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it's better to know who you are right away. But I think that eventually I started thinking, like, this isn't just about men. This isn't just about men facing rejection or not being able to face rejection. I think this is a skill that we can all learn, right? Rejection, whether that is rejection of jobs, right? We're seeing now the job market is freaking insane, right? Like people are literally applying to hundreds of jobs and either not getting a response or getting a response saying that, they're moving on with the next candidate, that they're not qualified, whatever, right? Being ghosted by jobs. So this is a form of rejection. So when we are not able to handle rejection, that literally brings down our aura. Like if you think about like aura points, this is something that people say now. I don't know what that even is, but whatever. Aura points, right? I feel like you started 100 aura points. When you can't handle rejection, your points literally decrease. Right? Think about every time you're rejected, every time someone says no to you, every time someone does something that you didn't want them to do, or someone's not accepting you or giving you the attention or the feedback that you want, your aura points are literally decreasing because you cannot handle rejection. And I feel like this is a life skill that we could all benefit from mastering, right? Again, going back to the job thing, right? Whether that is, let's say you were in a job where you were expecting a promotion, right? You're expecting a raise. You don't get that raise. How are you going to react? And usually rejection and reaction are closely connected, right? It's all about how are you reacting to that rejection? Are you throwing a fit? Are you cursing people out? Are you ghosting? Are you giving people the silent treatment? Are you going into this whole self wallow and pity and feeling bad about yourself and, hating the world? Like these are all these are all signs that we need to work on our rejection muscle. Okay? Because it's going to happen. We are adults. We are humans. Everything cannot go the way that we want it to go. I'm so sorry to break it to you. I don't know what manifestation coach told you that everything is always going to go your way. That's not the case. That is not the case, okay? And this is coming from someone who has manifested a lot of things in my life. But usually it first comes with rejection. Me asking for something specific, me wanting something, me thinking that I want something, right? Because sometimes we want something, quote unquote, or we're asking for something that we don't even really want. We want it maybe because we see other people having it, or we want it because someone told us that we should have it, or we want it because it's just been programmed into our mind like this is what is going to bring you happiness. So usually when we're asking for those things, when we're going after those things and we don't get it, it's usually a sign from God, the universe, source, spirit, whoever you call it, that that thing is not meant for us, right? That guy that I went out with, he was being rejected because he was not for me. That was not the guy for me, okay? And thank God that he went to go touch my hand, because at that moment I was like, yeah, no, this ain't it. And he felt the same way. His issue is that he couldn't handle rejection. And that's a problem, okay? So usually when we are not able to handle rejection, that doesn't bring us what we want faster, right? It's like throwing a tantrum in the store. You see a child throwing a tantrum because they didn't get the candy bar, they didn't get the toy, right? Their parents aren't feeding into their bullshit. That's not going to make them get the toy. That's not going to make you get the candy. You have to learn how to play the game and follow the rules in order to get what you want. And a lot of us don't like rules. That is the issue. A lot of us, we don't like structure. We don't like being told no. We take everything so freaking personally. If you've ever read The Four Agreements, which I would highly recommend, I think I put that on one of my books, my recommendations on a previous podcast episode, I would highly recommend. What was one of the four agreements? Don't take anything personal. Why would you take something personal that has nothing to do with you, right? Going back to the date instance, going back to the date that I was on, me not wanting to hold this guy's hand that had nothing to do with him. It was a personal boundary, right? That's something that I chose not to partake in because that's my personal boundary. I don't like physical touch with people that I don't know or don't feel comfortable around. So for this man to take that personally and to feel like, oh my God, it's the end of the world because I'm getting rejected, that is now his problem, right? You've taken a problem that was not yours. You could not respect someone else's boundary, and now you're making it about you. It's not about you. And I think that's something that we need to learn often. We need to remind ourselves not everything is about us. Not everything is supposed to work out in your favor in every single case. Not everything is going to come as soon as you want it to come. Not everything is going to show up as quickly as you want to. And honestly, I feel like in that instance, I was also being rejected, right? Him asking for the bill right away. It's like that is a form of rejection. It's like, oh shit, like this man doesn't want to talk to me anymore because I don't want to hold his hand, right? And if I was a pick me, okay, if I was a pick me, you know, I love to talk about pick me traits. If I was a pick me, I probably would have been like, oh no, we can hold hands. Oh no, let's extend the date. Let's talk a little longer. Why are we ending the date? No, but I was able to handle rejection and be like, okay, cool, date's over. And guess what? Now I'm creating space for the next person to come in. Now I'm creating space for someone who is going to treat me right and respect my boundaries. And that's exactly what happened. Next date, amazing, right? And it's like sometimes as humans, like we just don't get the concept of waiting. We don't get the concept of things not being for us at that time. And we don't understand that by facing rejection or by saying no to things, that we are creating space and opportunity for the things that we want in our life to show up. And of course, we're not in control of that timeline. I feel like God always is, in control of that timeline, but we want things fast. We want things now. We want things right away. We want things at the snap of our finger. So, how do we learn how to face rejection? It's a muscle. We practice it. We practice it every day, especially if you are someone who is in a position where maybe you're pitching yourself. Maybe you're a content creator. You're pitching to brands to work with. Maybe you are a business owner like myself, right? You're reaching out to people. You're trying to sell things. You're marketing. These are all ways that we can get comfortable with rejection, putting yourself in positions where rejection is just going to be the norm, where you're not always going to get a yes. You're not always going to get the sale. You're not always going to get the deal, right? So over time, it just becomes like, okay, cool, this didn't work out. Not for me. Great. Let's move on to the next thing. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that allows us much more space. It allows us much more ease. We have less anxiety, less stress because we're not worried about like, oh my God, this didn't work out. What the fuck? Like, when is it going to work out? When is my love going to show up? When is my relationship going to show up? When is the money going to show up? It's like we are literally causing our own freaking anxiety and misery because we don't understand the concept of rejection. I encourage you, put yourself in some uncomfortable situations, right? If you're a guy, maybe go to the bar, try to talk to a couple women. You're probably going to get rejected by at least 2 or 3, unless you look like Idris Elba. I don't know. Okay. But if you're a woman, I don't know, apply to a few jobs, maybe a few jobs that you don't even really want. Okay. But maybe that you're qualified for. I think in this day and age, like, yeah, you could be overqualified and not get the job. So just put yourself in situations and positions where there is a high chance that you're going to be rejected. And then notice how you handle that once that rejection comes. I feel like that's the best advice that I can give you. Okay, before we get too real into this conversation, I want to interrupt by inviting you to a very special event happening in 2026. I'm so excited to announce the Soul and Senses retreat in Bali, Indonesia. If you've been craving a reset, the kind that nourishes your body, calms your mind, and reconnects you to your purpose, then let me personally invite you to my retreat, Soul and Senses in Bali, happening April 7th to the 13th in 2026. We'll spend 6 nights in 2 luxury hotels in Seminyak, which is a beautiful, lively beach city. And then we'll spend 3 nights in Ubud, which is the jungle. It's spiritual, it's sacred, it's the place where you can really connect with your soul. We'll be surrounded by palm trees, soul aligned women, and the most beautiful energy that you've ever felt. You'll experience dance, somatic movement, deep stretching on a daily basis, healing and grounding practices, jungle excursions and private cultural tours, meditations, journaling workshops, and spiritual connection. There are plenty of nights where you can have fun and plenty of nights to also unplug. If you're feeling like, low key and you don't feel like going out, that's okay too. Our retreats are meant to help you follow your intuition and really give your body what it's craving at the time. It's safe, it's sacred, and it's exactly what you didn't know you needed. Spots are limited for this retreat and it's going to sell out. So if you're ready to reconnect with yourself in paradise, definitely make sure you go to our website. It's linked in the show notes. Or you can send me a DM saying Bali on Instagram and I'll send you the link to register. This is not just a vacation, it's a soul shifting experience. So if you're ready to step into the next version of yourself and connect with yourself on a deeper level while being in one of the most beautiful places on earth, then I invite you to book today and I'll see you there. I hope that this episode was helpful to you. We are going to end here today. I really hope that you took some notes today. We talked about a lot, astrology, blah, 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 whatever. I do have my coaching program open for fall. So if you are looking for either business mentorship, so if you are looking to start your own business, you need some help launching something, you're not feeling like things are moving, you can apply to my mentorship program. Or if you're looking for confidence coaching, which is working more on your self-concept, the way that you see yourself, the way that you present yourself, pitching, taking rejections, all that good stuff. That's a separate application that you can fill out. They're both going to be in the show notes, so check them out. Make sure you guys are following the pod on Instagram. Let's Just Be Real Pod. Subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you guys in another episode, y'all. Take care. Bye.